Okay, we've arrived at the Oxer Ridge trailhead. We've arrived at the Oxer Ridge trailhead. We took a little detour and ran out and saw not a tunnel. It's a tunnel. It's pretty cool. They have a little bit of wildfire out there, so we discovered that this part of the trail is actually closed. So we're gonna detour and take this trail, which is a bit longer, but that's all right. We'll work it out. Here we go, day one. We'll see you on the trail. Well, we're out on the trail. We drove for 450 some miles or so to get here. Drove all night last night. Stayed in Lexington, about an hour away from the trailhead. Nice little hotel, Ramada Inn North, right off the expressway, so that works out pretty good. Everybody's up there. We're all excited, ready to see some views of the Red River Gorge. This is a geological area. The glaciers and water flow and runoff has created this gorge with arches and all kinds of different stuff. So looking forward to seeing some of that. It's very hot, about 80 degrees already, and it's only 11 o'clock in the morning. We got a little bit late start because of the Nada tunnel, but that was all right. It was something neat to see. Really cool tunnel. Ready for some fun and God's great outdoors. Well, we made it up to the scenic outlook here at the start of the Double Arch Trail. We've gone about 1.3 miles. We're doing pretty good. We did have one casualty though. Sadly, I gotta say, Eli's little stuffed fox disappeared. A moment of silence. Anyways, we did find the dog they dropped too. So somewhere along this trail there's a little tiny stuffed fox. Hopefully somebody finds it and enjoys it. Maybe he'll get picked up by a gang of squirrels and live out a life of out in the wild. Who knows? But we're having good fun. It's still pretty warm. The sun is just kind of blazing. The scenes are just beautiful. The cliffs and everything. Having a good time. Sylvie's out wandering somewhere taking pictures. Sorry about the fingers. And the boys are here enjoying a little snack.
Jerky!
Having jerky, yeah. Let's see if I can get some shots of the views over here. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the Red River Gorge. Warning, dangerous cliffs. Wouldn't want to fall down in there. It's a very dangerous place to hike around at night. Okay, so that view that I just showed you from above, here we are from below. Trying not to shake the camera too awfully much to get up in here. I'm sure many pioneer and early American adventurers spent a night in here, and I imagine many Indians as well. One thing I know about caves and stuff, you spend the night in them and you have a fire, it attracts spiders. They fall out of the cracks and crevices of the cave looking for the warmth. I can see somebody had a fire up in here once. There's the adventurers. Be a great place to stop and set up a campsite, huh? The thing about Red River Gorge is you're not allowed to have a campsite within 300 feet of a trail or 100 feet of a cliff. The heat from the fires can separate the rock and make it cave in, and also you could just accidentally walk off a cliff in the middle of the night. Happens many times a year. People will fall off a cliff. Usually it's young people that have been drinking. So that won't be us. We're up on top of Double Arch. Beautiful up here. Yes, it is. This is exactly the reason we came to Kentucky. Beautiful Red River Gorge. We're up on top of Double Arch, as far up as we can go. And the views are just gorgeous. How you feeling, Hamza?
Fine.
You like it here?
Yeah. Also, look at the ground.
Yeah, people carved a lot of names and stuff in here, and yeah, not supposed to do that. But, you know, Indians used to do it too. Stay away from the other guys.
What did Indians?
They call them hieroglyphs and petroglyphs and things like that now.
And now it's winter. So what happened? Well, there were several things that happened. First off, when we checked all the weather reports for this trip, it said it was going to be in the low 70s. It was middle of October. Should have been beautiful weather, perfect weather for hiking. But by noon that day, it was already 87 degrees. And to make matters worse, they were in the middle of a drought. They hadn't had rain in about a month, so everything was bone dry. It was just sucking the water out of you. So I had 3 liters plus of water on me. It should have been plenty enough. I've never had to hike with more than that. But that day I was sweating so badly that I just couldn't keep the water replenished. I even had electrolyte enhancers and things like that in it, but just could not keep up with it. So about halfway through the loop that we were on, my legs started cramping up, and not just little cramps. I mean, they started cramping up to the point where it was getting really hard to walk. So we kept going, and with each excruciating step, my leg would cramp up as I'd step, and I just have to just stretch it and pull it out, and that just hurt like crazy. I got to the point where finally I had damaged the muscles enough that they just weren't going to work, and I ended up collapsing on the side of the trail, and just decided to take a break there. My wife, she had to come and rescue me. She took the boys back up to the van. Now, we were only 5 minutes from the end of the trail, but I just couldn't make another step. It was uphill, and I just couldn't get my legs to work anymore. So she took the boys back to the van, and she came back, and she grabbed my pack, and I was able to hobble my way back up the hill to where the van was parked at. Now, the second thing happened was when we took our lunch, we were up at the Double Arch there. Very beautiful place, but it's just kind of a small area that's underneath the arch, and there's drop-offs on either side. One side's about 80 feet, and the other side's about 100 foot down. Not something you want to fall off of. So while we were up there, I was so focused and occupied with making sure the boys ate their lunch and that they didn't fall off of anything because they were wanting to climb around and everything. I neglected to make sure I actually get some proper nutrition in me, so I didn't have enough calories and things for my muscles to work properly. So that causes them to just shut down after a while when they don't have the energy to keep going. So that was another mistake that I made, big mistake. Make sure you get your proper nutrition while you're out there on the trail. Third thing that happened is we left all of our camping stuff in the van. See, we're planning on doing this as about 6.5 mile loop, and we're gonna go back to the van. We're gonna drive to the next loop, and there were some campsites right there that you could drive up to. We were gonna camp there and start the next morning on the next loop. But we left all of our camp gear in the van, our tents, our hammock, the sleeping bags. Had we had that with us, when I started cramping up, we could have set up camp there. But you know, in the end, that kind of worked out pretty good anyways, because what we ended up doing is driving back to Lexington. We stayed at the hotel that we stayed at the night before, and we crashed there, and there was thunderstorms that night that rolled through, just hammered the place with rain. So if we would have been out there, I would have been in my hammock. My wife and the boys would have been in the tent. Now they're only 6 and 9, so keeping them in a tent during a thunderstorm would not be a fun thing at all. So I think it was really a good thing that we ended up going back into town, and then all the next day it rained, so we've been trapped in our tents for that whole time with 2 kids, and it would have been just miserable. So I think God was watching out for us and caused it so that we would go back to Lexington. So yeah, we ended up going into Lexington. We toured around there. You know what? We had a great time though. It was a lot of fun. We went to an air museum that had old planes and helicopters and jets. We got to tour that. The boys loved it. Had a lot of fun. They got to sit in some of them. And then we toured around town, saw some of the other sites and monuments and stuff. Then we went to Keeneland over to the racetrack, and we got to see the horses as they're doing their time trials in the morning. We got to go to the diner and eat with the jockeys and the trainers, and man, just a ton of food they give you just for a few bucks. That was really awesome. So we had a lot of fun there. Got to tour around the barn, just see all the horses and stuff. The boys enjoyed that before we set off to come back home. So it wasn't the trip that we're planning, but we still had a lot of fun, and it was still an awesome time. You know, that's what makes it an adventure. You know, when you plan something, you go out and things don't go as planned, but you push forward anyways, and you make it work. And that's what adventure is all about, and that's the thing that I love. But I hope that I learned from my mistakes, that's for sure. I will make sure that I get proper nutrition and more water and hydration, and take breaks and stuff when I need to. And I hope that you can learn from my mistake as well. Don't let yourself get dehydrated on the trail. It's quite miserable. So, well, enjoy the rest of the video. Just a few highlights of our time in Lexington and at the track and some of the horses. And thanks for watching.
Please like and subscribe.